Hey, good morning. I've been asked quite a few times the last couple weeks after we've announced the Azure Cash program, why is Azure doing this? What's the purpose? And several people have asked, hey, is Azure just getting gimmicky like all the other online type retailers? And, and I had to answer that. I really feel like I need to answer that question and be totally and utterly transparent about why we're doing the Azure Cache and what it will do for you, the customer, and what it does for us, and why it makes sense to, to do it. And is Azure getting gimmicky? No, not at all. We definitely are not going with any gimmick. Um, but maybe in a remote way, we are responding to the gimmicky world of the online marketing world. Because over the course of the past 5 years or so, there's become a proliferation of online type companies, and they mostly sell the what I call the light expensive stuff, the supplements, the small packaged goods, led by Amazon. But many of these companies, they do not have to make a profit. They are fed by capital, investment capital, to the point where they can sometimes go for years without making a profit. And obviously, the bottom line to that is that eventually, if they get enough market share, they will sell to some big company, i.e., one of the major supermarket chains, Amazon, or somebody huge, for enough money that they can recoup all the money they lost plus the money they invested. It's a gimmicky scheme, and there's a lot of investors out for doing that. So they're willing to do all kinds of gimmicky things to get market share. Azure is not like that. We're not here trying to build something that we can sell. We're here to to serve our customers and serve America in healthier food for the long run. I'm here for the multi-generational approach. Let's make it right. Let's do things right. And so one of the things that's happened because of the ability of those companies to lowball, it's created price wars in the online market. There's not, so it's been for many products, especially those supplement type lines, those expensive light things, it's created a race to the bottom. And a lot of the companies that have responded and said, I don't want my product as part of this race to the bottom. I don't want to be seen as retailing online for less than what I'm even selling it at the distributor level for. So let's put in some regulations around that. So they created what's called MAP pricing, which stands for minimum advertised price. So they create, you cannot advertise our product for less than whatever the amount is, kind of a bottom line retail. So, and most reputable, especially supplement type companies, have done this. And it's just to protect their brand so that it doesn't get cheapened in the marketplace by these online retailers who are not in this for the long haul. They're in it to create market share, make a quick buck, sell for big bucks, and make a lot of money. That's not, that's the short game. And many of them have come and gone doing that exact thing. But Azure has always wanted to give you fair pricing and good pricing. And many of these companies have said, "Oh, by the way, Azure, you have to abide by MAP pricing too, because people could actually look your product up on the website and find it." So if they do that, got to be at MAP pricing. So we wanted to give better prices to our customers. We always have. So this is one way that we can do that, because we can give you 10x, 15x, whatever, which is basically stands for a percent discount, if you will, to be very open about that. Off of that retail, there's things that could be 20 or 30%, 30x. um, then we can still give you that very fair, great value by giving this cash back program. Because the cash, once you earn it, can be used on anything. It doesn't have anything to do with that particular supplement. So it doesn't violate the MAP pricing. So that's number one thing, is responding to that gimmick and being able to give still the great Azure values that you're used to getting from Azure without alienating manufacturers and of the various supplement lines and that sort of thing. The other reason that this makes sense for Azure is that we're wanting to be able to reward or give better prices to the customers who don't cost us as much. When we're playing in a level playing field, there are there are customers and orders that cost us way less to fill than others. And we would rather make that so that the customer that doesn't cost us a lot, for instance, if we're shipping out a couple of bottles, well, let's just say a couple of glass jars of pickles via USPS, halfway across the country, the cost of actually getting those packed in such a way that they won't break and that they can get there whole and in one piece and safely is much, much higher than somebody that's placing an $800 or $900 order that's going to go on a truck and go on a route, and those 2 jars of pickles are just one of 100 things that they ordered, or 50 things, or whatever. It's much cheaper to throw those 2 jars in that box along with their beans and rice and everything else than it is to try to send them somewhere else. So, I mean, that's kind of the radical side of the difference. But if you can kind of understand the difference there, and I don't want to continue to have our very loyal customers that order $800 every single month over and over continue to subsidize these ones that are inconsistent. The thing is, though, I really need the inconsistent customers. It's very important that we have those, because those people that find us online, or somebody tells them, hey, they've got great pickles over there, and we need to ship them a couple of bottle pickles, those eventually could become our foundation core customers that order $800 every month. That may be the way they start. And it's a great way. I mean, we don't really have any other way. We only really have 2 ways to get to new customers. And it's very important right now that we grow, because we have these trucks to fill up, and I've explained this in a previous video, but that it's very important that we grow. So one is through the Share Azure for friends telling friends, and the other is that we come across them either through friends telling friends or in some Google search online for them, and they try the products and then they realize that there's more to it. But at the same time, then as they move into the loyal customer order every month aspect, then we want the price to go down a little bit. And that's what the Azure Cash program will allow us to do. It's not that the price itself will go down, but they will get rewards. And we're just starting. This 2X that we're launching today is just the starting point. We will be able to refine this as time goes on to actually reflect the true costs of delivering to the different types of customers. And I'm very happy to be able to do this, because I want to share the savings with those of you that make those savings possible. That is very important to me. So then the question has come up. When I first looked at this, I said, okay, this Azure Cash, do we really need it to expire at all? My accountant says, oh, yes, it has to expire. There's no, otherwise it could create this, anyway, nightmare type situation of liability that would not look too good. So so I was thinking about that. Yes, well, expiring Azure Cash. So I said, can we do it a little bit of both ways? For our customers that order regularly every month or every other month or whatever their consistent format is, can we have it never expire? So that is what we've done. For customers that order regularly, all the time, your Azure Cash never expires. If there's a lapse in ordering for more than 4 months, the Azure Cache will expire. And how did I come up with 4 months? Looked at the database, looked at our various customers, and looked at anyone who has a pattern to ordering. And the farthest apart pattern that I can find that's with any consistency is every 3 months. We have some people in, Alaska, Hawaii, places where they have to drive a long ways to meet the truck from remote portions of the country, in Wyoming and Montana and places like that. There are a few that order once a quarter, so every 3 months. So I said, okay, that's a consistent customer still. Let's cover that. That way it'll be no hassle for anybody. The vast majority of our customers order every 28 days, so this will never expire. And if they are on vacation 1 month and skip one time because they're in their dream trip to Europe, it's no problem, doesn't matter. Even if they're 2 months in Europe, still doesn't matter. They're not going to lose their Azure Cache in any way. And those people that order on every 3 month cycle, let's just in case something were to go wrong and the barge is late or whatever happens, let's give a month's grace. That's where we came up with the 4 months. So anyone who orders regularly, and that may not be stuck in stone. We may change that in time. We're learning this process too. But, transparently from my viewpoint, obviously it costs us a lot less to know when somebody's going to be consistently ordering. We know to have what product to have in stock. We know how full those trucks are going to be. We know what's expected, and it's so much easier. So my goal is to have a customer base of more and more very consistent purchasing customers that order every month, every cycle, however that cycle goes. Every week. In some areas it's weekly, in some it's bi-weekly, in some it's every 4 weeks. Some of these very remote places it could be every quarter. That makes a huge difference to us. And my goal, maybe from a business selfish side, is to encourage our customers to order on a regular basis, because that's good for us. But I believe it's also good for our customers because it gives them a consistent and fresh source of food. They're not having to store up and allowing things to get old. It gives them the ability to buy dated products, cheeses and butters and all those really great things that, have a finite shelf life. So I think, that will be really good. So the Azure Cache for those who order regularly will never expire. You can, and I want that to be the case because I want it to be something that's yours. You can save it up for as long as you want. You can save it up for that special Christmas dinner, or, maybe even better, save it up for when you want to make that special order for the missionaries that are going overseas, or for that special project to feed the hungry children in your community. Let's all make this world a little bit better place. Thank you for listening, and have a wonderful day.